In today's video, we're gonna turn this old woodworking spray booth into this budget DIY golf simulator. And then a brief backstory in this room. We used to sell woodworking stuff on Etsy and our website, and we would spray finishes and apply paint. And this was the room we did that in. And over the last year or so, we moved away from selling that kind of stuff, so we haven't been spraying or painting anything. And this room has just ended up being a catch-all for the last like 7 months, and I needed to do something with it. And being in Wisconsin, the winters get pretty boring for me because I don't really have a bunch of winter hobbies. So I figured a golf simulator would be perfect. But then I ran it past Jess, and she was like, that'll be too expensive. So we need to do this on a budget. My goal is to do it for less than $2,000 for everything. So let's see if we can do it.
And just to give us a baseline on pricing, these kits run anywhere from $20,000 to $4,000. You can probably get them a little bit cheaper elsewhere, but this just gives us a rough baseline, and this is the actual launch monitor we have and will be using, so anything less than $3,000 is a win. And if you're into a super simple setup, this is what I've been using for the last several months, just in this room after I kind of cleaned it out. I paid $700 for the launch monitor that I run off my iPad. I already had this net. I think I paid $60 for it a couple years ago, and then this mat was about $100, but it did not feel good hitting it off the concrete. So I put these puzzle tiles underneath it, and then I ended up just making a DIY hitting strip because it was just not ideal on concrete. So realistically, you can have a pretty simple basic setup without a projector if you already have an iPad for less than $1,000. I honestly think you can run some of these off your cell phone, so for under $1,000, you can have a pretty decent setup. And for me, this was kind of just like the trial run to make sure I would actually use this thing before spending a couple $1,000s on setting everything up and putting the time into making this room legit.
And as you can see, I'm pretty consistent. We have driver consistency here and mid-iron consistency here. Just like that, 5 golf balls. So this setup works great. As you can see, I would invest in a better net as I've blown multiple holes through this thing. And you wouldn't want to do this in your garage or house. I knew I was going to be redoing this anyway, so to me, I was like, whatever. It did get a little out of hand and excessive, but we're going to go ahead and fix it now.
And luckily, I already had a half sheet of drywall, so that didn't cost me anything. Just a little bit of time replacing this section that I absolutely destroyed and turned into Swiss cheese. And upon further investigation, we have more golf balls, and one actually made it completely through both pieces of drywall. Yeah, don't be like me. I'm just a normal dude with an average handicap, and I'm not trying to sell you any type of sim package or launch monitor. I don't plan on making future golf videos on this channel. It's more of a passion project for me, as I wanted to document it and show others that it is feasible without spending $10,000. And we had to go with a dark color, and I didn't just want to paint the room black. And we ended up settling on this like terracotta color. The cameras make it look a lot worse than it actually is. But after about a day and a half of drywall and painting, we're ready to start getting this thing actually put together.
So I was initially going to go with 2x4s for the frame just because it was cheaper, but I just couldn't figure out a good way to go about the shank protection, and it also limits me to not being able to take it down, move it, or adjust it. Just because it's screwed together wood, it would be a little more difficult. Versus the EMT tubing, I have ultimate freedom in adjustability. I can take it apart, take it down, I can adjust it if I get a new hitting screen, and then I found these on Amazon for $80. So they just slide in and you just tighten them down, and I could take it apart if I had to in no time at all. So I spent a little more money on these. They were $15 each at our local big box store. So about $200 for all of these and the fittings. I'm gonna go ahead and get some primer and paint on these just to blend them in a little better so they don't stick out.
And then I just gave these a quick spray bomb. You're not really gonna see them once everything's set up, so as long as they're like dark in color, good enough. We used some self-etching primer, which I already had, and then some random black Rust-Oleum spray paint. And overall, they look pretty good. I gave it 2 quick coats of primer and 2 coats of paint, and good enough for their intended use. Then I went with these 1-inch puzzle tiles for the base of the floor. After some research and checking out Facebook and other people's builds, this just kind of seemed like what everyone was using, so that's what we went with. It was $130 a box, and I just bought 1 box right away, seeing how far it would get me instead of just doing math like a normal person, and it ended up being a whole box short. And then the hitting screen needs to be 1 foot away from the wall, which I think is ideal. Any closer, you'd probably end up hitting it. I probably have 1,000 balls into this hitting screen and I haven't hit the ball once, so I would say 1 foot's a pretty safe bet. Any closer, you'd be pushing it. And then we just started slapping down these floor tiles to see how far I could get, and onto assembling the screen frame. And then I just used a reciprocating saw to cut these, and they cut pretty easy. Nothing fancy here. And I went with 1-inch EMT tubing, as others suggested as well. I personally think the 3/4 would be a little too flimsy. I also probably would avoid PVC pipe, because it would probably shatter if you hit it with a golf ball.
You still gotta finish painting?
No. Well, I mean, other than touch-ups, but no.
Like all the corners on the ceiling?
Yeah, touch-ups.
Then assembling the frame was pretty self-explanatory. It was quite easy. I would recommend getting another set of hands, as this would be pretty difficult on your own. Or in Jess's case, one hand, since the other one's quite busy holding a dog. I did go cheap on the screen. The screen was $100 off of Amazon. Others in Facebook simulator groups said this one was fine. I talked to someone else who started out with a cheap simulator screen and said it lasted them a year of almost daily use. So if I can get a year out of it, I'm happy. Then I'll upgrade to something a little bit better. And then for shank protection on the wall, I had these old puzzle mats that I just taped together and cleaned up a little bit, as the nice looking shank protection was super expensive.
So I just went ahead and designed and 3D printed these quick. They're just essentially a giant washer, and then I'm just going to use a finished head screw to put those in there, and I'll just like Sharpie that black or something.
And based on my research, everyone says to have as much protection as possible, especially if you're going to have friends over playing in your setup, because they will put holes in the wall.
Where's my stuff finder?
And these are just old crusty mats I had around my tools in my wood shop that I recently upgraded to thicker rubber mats.
So this is the turf we got. I ended up getting this at Menards. I went to all the big box stores, and this is the best I could find. It was like $80 for 12 foot by 14 foot. There was some stuff that was a little nicer, but it only came in 6-foot chunks instead of 12-foot chunks. I did order this online for the hitting mat just to try it out. This stuff's super nice, but I couldn't find anything like this locally at all. And it was quite expensive to buy a big chunk of it online. Doesn't feel quite as nice as that stuff, but it's cheap.
And then projectors. Holy man, I had no idea the rabbit hole of projectors I was going to go down. Luckily, I found this one used for $275 relatively locally, so that saved me a good chunk of money there. Personally, I'd recommend a short throw projector of at least 3,000 lumens. This is the one I have here. It's an older model. It's only 2,000 lumens. You can go to this website and it'll show you how far it needs to be away from the wall and how much it'll fill the screen and all that stuff. So I'd recommend checking out this website before you buy a projector, just to make sure everything lines up and fits how you expect it to. Then based on the information from that website and a cheap mount from Amazon, we went ahead and got that projector mounted. And you can spend $5,000 plus on a projector. I think you can get a decent one for like $500 to $800. If you're lucky like me, you can get one used. Then just a few finishing touches on that room. I quick made some trim out in the shop, and then I had to cut this door down an inch so it would clear the foam tiles we added to the floor. And this is supposedly called color drenching, where you paint everything in the room the same color. I call it being lazy. And this is my shop TV that I use for watching football games and golf, and it will now live in the sim room. And the second box of puzzle mats showed up, so we can get back to working on the floor. I probably should have just done the whole room, but I already spent $260 on these puzzle mats, and that was kind of as much as I wanted to spend on them. So maybe in the future I'll buy another pack and just finish out the room. And then I bought some of these just pipe insulation to put around the face of these pipes. Not that I think it'll do a ton, but it's gotta be better than nothing. And putting down the turf just made this room just come together. But as you can see, there's footprints everywhere, as I'm in a wood shop and dark green was not the move. And then I bought this pin light off Amazon for $20 to light up the hitting area, and I would buy a better one. This one's pretty cheap and crappy, to be honest, but it'll work for now.
So right for now, I'm gonna run this off my iPad. So we have the iPad, and I wanna display the picture on that TV, along with from the projector to the screen. But what I figured out is I can AirPlay from the iPad to the TV, and then run an HDMI cable from the projector to the iPad. So AirPlay TV, HDMI cable to iPad. And then I'll 3D print a stand over here, or just set it in the window. Let me turn these lights off here and show you how this looks. And make sure it outputs correctly. Okay.
Ready?
But I gotta kind of also figure out where I'm gonna put this hitting mat, because this feels pretty good about here. But I'm not like super tall, so I want to have like, safe room for no one to hit the wall or on the follow through. All right, just from that little bit of hitting, I can already see like foot marks there. So I think I'm gonna have to try to find something like this that's a little more durable and a little bit bigger to put in here. I don't know if this is gonna hold up to all the swinging. Like I had this for the hitting strip, but I'm worried about the standing area getting wore out.
And then I did some swinging to kind of figure out where exactly this would go. And then I had Jess come out to see where she felt comfortable. And I think we ended up 7 feet from the screen and 8 feet from the wall. And then literally just cut a giant hole in the floor. That's about it. Odds are I'll make this hitting strip bigger, probably 2 foot by 2 foot, because it's a little too small to practice swing. And maybe in the future I'll upgrade to a higher end one. But for now, this works just fine for me. And then I put down this double-sided carpet tape. It honestly didn't do a whole lot. It could have just been because it was a little dusty or it was cheap. I don't know, but not great.
And now the part I've been dreading. Wrapping the fabric around the frame. Just like shank protection to contain those arid shots or like lob shots. So I got this on Amazon for $100. It's probably a little more expensive, but I just couldn't find anything local in the length I need. So this is 10 yards, which is 30 feet. So I'm about to cut the length off a little bit, and it's 60 inches wide, which I just checked, and it's perfect. So what I'm gonna do is just wrap that fabric around like this, and this is 60 inches right here. And if I gotta extend that out a little bit, that's fine. So yeah, let's unwrap it, cut it, and then I got this grommet tool on Amazon for $30. So let's get this fabric figured out, and then we're almost done. Right, Manny? Yeah, look at that dog. Look at that dog.
And then we kind of just laid it out and took a look at everything and see how it fit before I started cutting any fabric off or punching a bunch of holes into it. Overall, the grommet tool was pretty easy. It took me several tries to kind of like get it down and how to use it properly, and I did a foot between grommets. And here you can just see some of the ones that look good, and then some just look a little wonky, but not that it really matters, because once it's all together, you're not going to see them anyway. But overall, it was easy to use. And remember how I said that fabric was one continuous piece? Well, it wasn't, and they stitched it together. Luckily, it kind of lined up on one of the corner posts, so it's not really visible, but it's annoying when they said it was one whole chunk, and it was not. And the fabric was white. Use black stitching. And then this just got zip tied to the EMT frame. And that was pretty much it. It was super easy. It took me probably a couple hours to get everything riveted and done.
I had a regular 15-foot HDMI cable, and it would just cut out after like 5 minutes and just keep losing signal. I did some research, and I found out that I needed a fiber optic HDMI cable, which was slightly more expensive. I think it was like $5 more. But I've been playing with it like this, and I've had zero cutout issues. So now I gotta redo all the wiring and just get this reran behind the TV.
And then to frame in the screen and hide these grommet holes and EMT pipes, I bought this mattress topper. I think it was a twin for $18, and I just cut that into 4-inch chunks. I just used a sharp utility knife and then some just spray adhesive I already had to kind of glue these together. And then I paid $20 for some a little more shiny looking fabric, and then we just used that rivet tool to kind of wrap it around and encase it into there. And then that too just got zip tied to the EMT frame. We could have did a little bit better job with the spacing, but we didn't know what we were doing. On the more expensive setups, you actually like Velcro these on, so maybe I'll upgrade to that in the future. And then this screen was really long, so I just kind of wrapped it under. I don't know why it was so long, but it ended up working fine, I guess. And then the screen is just over a foot from the wall.
So now that this room is pretty much done, let's give you a quick tour, and we'll finish it off by going over the budget and seeing how well we did. So first off, you can see my floor is dirty. As I expected, going with the dark green, I think it looks better, but being I'm in a wood shop, it just gets dusty, and because it's like that tight-knit carpet, it just doesn't vacuum well with my shop vac. So I'm gonna have to get the house vacuum and see if that works better. But versus something like this, I think the sawdust and whatnot would be a little less visible. So that's my first thing I'm not too happy about. And then also the hitting strip, this just keeps coming up. The double-sided tape it just doesn't hold very well. So this is kind of just crappy. But I'm also gonna make this hitting strip a little larger. Let me just pull this out of here. I'm gonna go probably 2 foot by 2 foot. It'll just last longer because I can move the ball around more. versus kind of just being stuck to the middle. It's also too small to practice swing. So this is gonna get bigger, but this is janky. I'm gonna make a new one. This is just plexiglass with this 1-inch turf I got on Amazon and a little bit of foam on the bottom. Then it just drops in here. I can hit into that ball and it honestly feels fine. It's also not too grabby. And if you do hit it fat, you notice it's a fat shot. But for $20 for the plexiglass, and then I think it was $20 for this piece of turf, and then another like 10 for the Gorilla Glue. You can find videos on how to make these online, and maybe later I'll try a more expensive one. Then moving over to here, we have the Square Golf launch monitor. Honestly, this has been great. I don't have much experience with other launch monitors, so it's hard to compare those to like a TrackMan or some expensive device. But the Square launch monitor was $700. I actually initially bought a Garmin, but I didn't have the width in the room. This room is 15 by 16. So I had it for 2 days, sent it back, and ordered the Square Golf launch monitor. I feel like it's pretty accurate. I don't know how accurate the club path and data like that is, but the yardage is pretty spot on to what I hit on the course. I battle with a push or a hook. I was in a club championship the other week, and I was just pushing everything right with my irons. I came here 2 days later, and I was having that same miss. So it's nice to come in here and see that my miss on the course is the same as the miss in here, and I can work on that a little bit. But also, it's kind of like going to the driving range. I can hit a beautiful draw most of the time on the driving range, and I get to the course, and I could be hooking it or doing whatever. It's just a different game. It also works great for chipping, and I don't know. I think overall, for $700, I think this thing's great. I love the cage. It was pretty easy to make, and I think the frame and everything was $200. The screen was about $100. All this here was probably another $100. The fabric was $100. So roughly $500 to get this whole screen set up. So the things I'm gonna upgrade next would be the hitting strip, a better projector this winter, and then I'll use this screen until it wears out, and then I'll upgrade to a better higher end screen. And then the Square launch monitor, I'm running off my iPad. Again, in the future when I have more money to throw into this, I'll probably get a computer where I can run GS Pro. But right now I'm just running the native software for Square and then Awesome Golf. Okay, so let's go over the actual budget here and see how we did. Okay, so the mattress topper for this was $18. The EMT tubing was $120. The fabric tool was $30. I spent $120 on fabric because this fabric was $20 and this fabric was $100. The EMT fittings were $80. The launch monitor was $700. I got the screen on sale for $101. This turf was $80 from Menards. I paid $10 for the tape, even though I don't feel like the tape really did a whole lot. So the 1-inch foam padding under the floor was $260. I bought 7 of these foam tubes. That was $33. The projector I got used on Marketplace. It's a BenQ for $275. Projector mount on Amazon was $15. The pin light that projects onto the floor was $20. The HDMI cable that I ended up going with was $30. So let me add that up quick. So I already had the spray paint and the spray adhesive for this kind of stuff. The ball bungees came with the screen. So we'll just say $100 for miscellaneous, saying you gotta buy the spray paint, the primer, and the adhesive. So the grand total comes out to $2,092. So pretty much everything you see here, ready to hit, was $2,100 minus like the wall paint and the TV. Then we'll just fire this up just to kind of just show you how it looks with everything on. So this is 2,000 lumens. I think ideal is 3,000 to 4,000. As you can see, it's not the brightest, but the short throw projector is pretty great and it lines up perfectly and fills the screen. And honestly, it's clear enough. I don't really care about 4K. I just want a brighter projector so it doesn't feel quite as dark. So let's grab like a pitching wedge here. And as you can see, for me, this is more than enough. Like, I absolutely love this. So let's actually try to get one close to the pin. And as you can see, it's like instant. You hit the ball and it goes, there's no real delay. So again, for me, this setup's pretty perfect. I honestly don't have too many complaints.
Ready?
And there we go. That would be my normal miss on the course. Overcook it left. So, yeah. Golf simulator.